we are introducing Karen Cooper. Karen is a wife, mother, and real estate broker, business owner, and entrepreneur. She exemplifies what it means to be a successful, busy woman and is striving to do it all. As the founder of Empowering Women in Real Estate, a nationwide real estate group for women with over 7,000 members. Karen is passionate about helping women see their potential and recognize dreams and achieve their goals. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Karen.
Good morning. How is everybody today? Good. Thank you for joining me. So today we're going to talk about time mastery. And I've got a couple of things that I'm going to share with you about that. First, we're going to go over a few concepts about it. And then I'm also going to go into some really tactical tips. Because one of the things that I find is I really like learning about time management and how to do things, but no one really gives us the actual how-tos and the tips for how to do it. So I'm going to go over that with you today. We are also going to save room, hopefully, for a little bit of Q&A at the end. And I'm also going to be doing some giveaways of some of my favorite products I'm going to talk about today during the tips. So go ahead and get out your business card. At the end, Donna's going to collect them all so that we can do a drawing. This is a quote from Henry Ford that I really like. It's been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. And I find that to be so true. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, but why is it that some of us seem to be able to achieve more and accomplish more than others? And what that boils down to is time mastery, using the time that we have well. And for me, I have a big why about why I do that. Catherine talked about the why in the intro. For me, it's not just about getting more done or producing more or making more things happen. For me, why I want to master my time is because I want to spend time with these people. These are my people. This is my family. This is the trip that we took earlier in October. And mastering my time enables me to be really productive in my business, get a lot done during the day, but also so that I can finish that up and get home to my family. I'm very driven. A lot of businesswomen are. I'm sure a lot of you are too. But that's not all. There's other components as well. So you might be wondering, who the heck are you and what can you tell me about time mastery? So I'm going to tell you. Like Catherine said, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm a friend. But I also have a lot of other things going on in my life too. My life is messy, my life is complicated, just like I'm sure yours are as well. In addition to my businesses, I take care of my 80-year-old father. My in-laws are ill. We have issues dealing with them. I've had my own health challenges. I had a mastectomy 7 weeks ago. And then, in addition, all of these things that I'm doing too. So, in my real estate business, I help 50 to 60 families per year personally with their real estate needs. I'm the founder of Empowering Women in Real Estate. We now have over 8,000 members nationwide. I'm the owner of the Platinum Group Real Estate team at Pearson Smith Realty with my partner. We're a top-producing Northern Virginia real estate firm. This is us at our retreat earlier this month. We're a group of 24 women, all moms, and we're going to help more than 400 families this year. I also manage the Lovettsville Business Networking Group, and I've been featured on multiple podcasts, and I've taught business and real estate in multiple different panels and groups. So let's talk about some of the primary concepts that I use to get all of those things done. The first concept I want to talk about today is yes equals no. So the thing that you want to understand is that every time you're saying yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So if you're saying yes to happy hour after work, you're saying no to dinner with your family. If you're saying yes to a midday Netflix binge, Orange is the New Black is my current favorite, then that means you are saying no to prospecting time or appointments with your client. So it's really important to be very intentional with your time and understand that. It's really good as well, you want to understand where your time is going. So make a list. I recommend jotting down a list of all of the things that you're doing in your day, the things that you think you should do, the things that you want to do, the things that would be nice to do, to really understand where your time is going. And then looking through those items and understanding what's a really high value activity for me and what's not. You need to know where your time is going so that you can learn to master it really well. The second concept is do, delegate, or delete. This is my favorite. This also works really well with emails as well. You have that list, so you prioritize your high-value activities. Now you want to look at those activities, and for everything on your list and everything that comes at you during the day, you want to either do it, you want to delegate it, or you just want to delete it altogether. When it comes to the things that you're going to choose to do, you want to focus on the activities that are your highest and best use of time. So for example, for me, Volunteering in my child's classroom, that's something that only I can do. Negotiating a contract with my client, that's something that only I can do. So those are the things that I'm going to focus my efforts on. I'm also going to focus my efficiency efforts. I'm going to spend my time trying to figure out how to take those things that only I should be doing and how to make them more efficient. We're going to talk about some tips for that. And then for anything that is not one of your high-value activities, you want to figure out how you can either delegate it or delete it. So when it comes to delegating, you want to take the things that are not most important for you to do, also the things that are not dollar productive. There's a ton of things that come at us during the day, but a lot of those are not necessarily dollar productive for us to do. A great exercise is to figure out what your hourly rate is. So what is your time worth? If an hour of your time is worth $500, then perhaps you want to consider delegating anything that's worth less than that. Recognize that time is money. I think sometimes we get really hung up on spending money on things that we could do ourselves. Cleaning my house, I could certainly do that. I'm not going to do that very well, and I'm certainly not going to enjoy it, but that's not necessarily the best use of my time, so you want to think about that. And then when it comes to deleting, just let it go. There are so many things that we put pressure on ourselves as women that we need to do or that we need to take care of that necessarily aren't really necessary or worth our time and effort. Take a look at your current season of life. Recognize that you can't do everything. It's not possible to get everything done. So realizing that even if you're saying no to some things right now, that doesn't mean that it's no forever. Especially if you have children. How many moms are in the room? So when you have kids, you know that your season changes constantly. What's working for you right now is probably not going to work for you 6 months from now. It's certainly not going to work for you a year from now. So just recognize that just because it's something that you can't do right now, something you need to say no to right now, doesn't mean you're never going to be able to get back on your plate. The third concept I want to talk about today is establishing boundaries. This is one of my favorite conversations to have. Your value is not in your availability. I think sometimes, especially as women, as business owners, certainly in my industry, there is this feeling that the value that I bring to others is in me being available to them constantly, and that's absolutely not the case. The more clear you can be with your boundaries, the better you can master your time. So for example, if you are answering the phone at 6 o'clock in the morning, if you're responding to text messages at 11 o'clock at night, you have now taught those people that that's a great time for them to reach out to you, and they're going to keep doing it, and then you get into this really vicious cycle. So it's important to establish what your boundaries are going to be. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have one of those voicemail messages that says, I only return calls from certain times. What that might mean is when you get that text message from someone in the middle of dinner, maybe you send them a quick text back that says, I'm winding down for the evening. Is it okay if I give you a call in the morning? The minute you set those expectations, all the client or the other person wants to hear from you or wants to know is that you're going to take care of them and that you're going to follow up with them like you say that you're going to do.
Once that happens once, they will never do it again. You also want to be the boss of your schedule. You're a professional, so act like it. One mistake that I see people doing a lot is when someone needs to set an appointment with you, you ask, well, when are you available? Because we're so eager and we're so excited to work with them. But the problem is, first of all, you know that they're going to suggest a time that is the one time that doesn't work for you. And then second of all, you've also sort of set this expectation that you're going to be available to them whenever, that you don't have a lot going on in your schedule. So the best advice I can give you when it comes to appointments is anytime you need to set an appointment with someone, always give them two choices. I can meet with you today at 2 or tomorrow at 10. What works best for you? And 99% of the time, they are going to choose one of the options that you select. The other thing that you've done when you do that is you have now taught them that you're a professional and that they need to work within your schedule. Great advice I was given when I first got into my business is that everything is an appointment. There's a lot of things that we do. I'm taking my dad to doctor's appointments. I'm going to my son's baseball games. Of course, I have plenty of work appointments too. But I don't necessarily need to share that with the people that I'm working with. So every time you have something that comes up, just say it's an appointment. You don't need to explain otherwise. You don't need to give any further explanation. I also find that it's really important to have a framework for your day. So not only do we need to have boundaries for other people in our lives, but we need to have boundaries for ourselves too. In my business, you can work from home. It can be really easy to get distracted. You're doing a load of laundry here. You're doing a couple of things over there. We're going to go and run some errands on our lunch break. But what happens is you don't really have a framework for your day. And the next thing you know, the end of the day has come and you've done nothing that's going to move your business forward. So the best thing that you can do is have a loose framework. I am not a person who time blocking works for. Maybe that works for you and that's great. For me, I'm more likely to say mornings are reserved for appointments and afternoons are the time that I catch up on my paperwork or I do my client calls. Have a kind of a loose guideline for what time you're going to start your day and what time you're going to end it. That's going to help you to make sure that you can be productive throughout your day and that you can get a lot done. It's also important to have that end time for your day. I found that when I identify for myself the time that I want to stop my day, in my business there are no set hours. It's 24/7. It's every day of the year. And so there is no specific time where my office closes or my day ends. So it's important for me to identify that for myself, because if I don't do that, it's very easy for my tasks to get pushed off into the evening or maybe bleed into the next day, and then before you know it, you're running behind and you're constantly playing catch up. So having an idea of when you're going to end your day can be really helpful. I also like the idea of opening and closing your day intentionally. This morning, Tina talked about having her quiet time in the morning. I think that's really important. Having a little routine of what you do in the mornings can really help to make your day more official and to help it to have some framework. At the end of the day, maybe having some certain tasks that you do towards the end of the day, a final sweep of your voicemail or your email, maybe running through and checking your to-do list and seeing what you need to prioritize the next morning, that can be really helpful for you. So those are the concepts. So let's get into the tactical tips, which I think are the funnest part. So let's talk about meal planning. We all have to eat. And the funny thing about the people in our lives is that they want to eat 3 times a day. And we typically, as the moms, are the ones who end up having to do the majority of that. Even in my household, my husband does a good 50% or more of the cooking, but I'm still the one who's responsible for the majority. So the best thing that I can tell you is to plan and shop once a week. So I have these, and this is one of the things I'm going to give away today, is I have this great little pad that I found. It's called What to Eat, and I got it on Amazon, and it's magnetic, and it hangs on my refrigerator. And so once a week, I sit down for 15 minutes, and I figure out what are we going to have for the week. I figure out what we're going to eat Monday through Friday, and it really just helps to make my day go a lot more easily. If I wait until I come home, and the kids are hungry, and I'm hungry, and we've got to rush off to an appointment or a game or a practice, it's way too late, and things are not going to go well. So figuring out what your meal plan is going to be, it doesn't take that long. One of the things that has saved me a ton of time with my meal planning is to have themes. So, for example, Mondays we usually do something meatless like a pasta or some zoodles. On Tuesday, I have a meal delivery service that brings food. Friday is always pizza night. So Wednesday and Thursday are really the only days that I need to plan. So that makes things a lot more easy for my family. I also like to use a little pad. There's one that's called All Out Of. Again, you can also find it on Amazon. It hangs on your refrigerator. And so you just fill in your grocery list, all the things that you need. I've trained my kids so that they know that if they don't check it on the list, if they don't write it down, they're not going to get it. So they need to take care of that. And that helps to take some of the pressure off me, and it helps to give them responsibility as well. The nice thing about having your meal plan posted on your refrigerator is my kids aren't asking me 100 times a day what's for dinner. They can see what it is, and then they know. I also like to look for time-saving activity, time-saving alternatives. Like there's like Blue Apron and a bunch of things like that. I actually found a better service because I don't like to cook, and I'm actually not really good at cooking. So there is a caterer in my town who I partnered with to do weeknight dinners. So every week she gives me a list of 3 meals to choose from. I order from her what I want, and she delivers them to my home. It is way cheaper than what you would think. And it's a really great, efficient way. I know I never have to worry about meals on Tuesday because hot meals come into my house. It also helps me to take care of my family because I can have meals sent to my dad, too. I also like to use shopping services. So when it comes to doing that grocery shopping, Amazon Fresh is a great way to go. It doesn't really work for where I live. I live in the country. I like Harris Teeter Express Lane. You can order your groceries online. It saves your preferences in all of your grocery orders, even when you go into the store. So it's really easy for me to pick what I need. And then I pick my time. I drive up to the store. They come out. They load it into my car, and I go home. So it's a huge time saver. It's actually also a huge money saver because I'm not in the store shopping hungry and grabbing lots of different things and throwing them in my cart. And then I also like to have a couple of backup meals on hand just in case. Sometimes the meal comes on Tuesday, nobody likes it. Sometimes people are running late. Sometimes we have a practice that we weren't anticipating. So it's great to have a couple of things in your pantry that you can just quickly go to that you know that you have on hand and to help you to make a good decision. I've also taught my kids, and this was a long time in coming. My boys are 14, 12, and 9. So for my older kids, they know that they have to try what we're having. And if they don't like it, that's fine, but they're going to have to fix themselves another alternative. So what I have found is that their own laziness has expanded their palates because they would much rather eat what we're having than actually get up and fix something for themselves. So those are some great ideas for meal planning. Next is getting dressed, doing your laundry. We have to deal with this every day. If you're anything like me, you probably have lots of stuff in your closet that maybe doesn't fit right now. Maybe you don't love how you feel, how you look in it. Maybe it's not super comfortable. And so in the morning, you're getting dressed, you're trying on 4 different outfits, the pile ends up on the floor, then you get home, you have to clean it up. So about a year and a half ago, I spent an afternoon and I ruthlessly cleaned out my closet. I took everything out, I tried everything on, and I only put back the things that I really liked. The stuff that fit me, the stuff that was comfortable, the stuff that I looked good in. And so that means then that getting ready is super easy now because I know that everything in my closet is working for me. This also works really well for your kids too, by the way. The other thing that works really well for me is planning my outfit out the night before. It's such like a school kid thing, right? You know, you would have your kids lay out their clothes the night before, but it works for grown-ups too. So when I get home, I change into my pajamas, I check the weather, I quickly pick an outfit, and then the next morning, I don't even have to think about it. I used to be a person who ran late to everything, and it was mostly because of the changing outfits 14 times in the morning. And now that doesn't happen. I put on what I picked, and I'm done. Another great tip that I have for you about this is doing one small load of laundry every day. This has really transformed the peace in my household. Every morning, I'm an early person. I throw a load of laundry in the wash. I have a little quiet time. Tina talked about that this morning too. And as soon as my quiet time is over, it's usually time to move the stuff from the washer into the dryer. And then I can deal with it when I get home or the next morning. But that just helps me to stay on top of things. Laundry isn't piling up. And so that's really, really helpful. You also may not have noticed, but your washing machine probably has a delay wash setting on it. So that's really helpful too. You can set your laundry and you can set it so that your laundry will be washed and ready right before you walk in the door or right before you get up in the morning, so you're not washing something and it's sitting in there all day. That's a really great tip. And then teach your kids to do laundry. I wish I had had learned this, had put this into practice sooner. We just started doing this a few years ago. But my older boys, I've taught to do laundry. They have now been trained, and they know that if they want their favorite things to wear, they're going to have to do their wash. I don't even have to remind them anymore, and they do it. That also means I have to lower my standards a little bit. Their drawers are going to be a lot messier than what I would like. Their clothes might be a little bit more wrinkled sometimes. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm saving a ton of time because I'm not having to do it. And even my younger son can get involved in this. He helps me to sort his laundry once it's clean. He helps to put it away. So those are some great things that can save you time and make things easier. I also love technology. Technology time savers are huge. There's technology all around us. Sometimes it can actually be really overwhelming, and there's too many things. So I have narrowed it down to just a few things that work really, really well for me. So my favorite is the timers and alarms on my phone. So again, I used to be late all the time. So I started setting a timer on my phone or an alarm. As soon as I get to work in the morning, I set my timer for when I need to leave for my appointment or when I plan to leave for the day. Because what happens is you get distracted during the day. Sometimes you may not notice what time it is. The time has completely gotten away from you, and before you know it, it's time to go or you're late for your appointment. Or you're constantly breaking your focus because you're trying to remember what time it is. So when you have that alarm set and you no longer have to think about it, then it can help you to be so much more efficient, and it's just going to remind you when it's time to leave. You can also do the same thing with recurring alarms. I have certain things that happen during my week that I tend to forget about. We have a team call Tuesday, Friday mornings, so I have a recurring reminder on my phone, so it reminds me every Friday at 9:15 to get ready for the team call. You can set those on your kids' phones. So my kids, we've had those for trash night Don't forget to take out the trash. I don't have to remind them. Their phone's going to tell them. So it's really great to have those reminders. You can set them up for the exact days and times that you want them for. And I love to use a keyboard shortcut. So if you are an iPhone user, you're going to want to take a picture of this because these are the motion keyboard shortcuts. So if you have things that you tend to type out or need information you need to relay on a regular basis. So for me, for example, it's directions to my house, directions to my office. When I'm unavailable on a day like today or when I'm on vacation, I'll do sort of like a little out-of-office message that I'll use for text. You can set a keyboard shortcut, and instead of retyping the whole thing every time, all you have to do is just type in a couple of letters, and it's going to populate this phrase for you. So it's a huge time saver. It's really easy. One word of caution when you're setting this up, and I learned this the hard way, make sure that whatever your shortcut is, you are not making it part of another word. So for example, my vacation shortcut is VC, not VAC. Otherwise, every time I write the word vacation or anything with the word VAC in it, I'm going to get this whole 4 sentences worth of text. And then use Alexa. Does anybody have the Alexa, the Echo Dot? I love that thing. So I have one in my bathroom, and I use her to read to me in the mornings. So it's kind of nice. I'm getting ready for the day, and it's a nice thing just to do a little something for myself. So my Alexa reads books to me using the Audible app. You can also use it to check the weather. It's a great tool. I'm going to give one of those away today, too. And then let's talk about appointments and task management. So one of the things I like to do that saves me a lot of time is anytime I finish one appointment, I always set the next one. So you go to the dentist, they want to see you back in 6 months. You go to the doctor, you got to come back in a year for your physical. You go to the hairdresser, you're going back in 8 weeks or something. Set that next appointment while you're there. It's going to save time so you're not having to remember to make the phone call. It's going to probably get you the exact date and time that you want. And then it's also in your calendar. So even when I'm making an appointment that's a year out, I still very rarely have to change it because it's already there and I can work everything else around it. Also, it's a great idea to have, and combining appointments. This is something else that we do. So with my kids, my entire family, we use the same doctor. We go to a family practice. We all use the same dentist. My older kids have the same orthodontist. And very rarely will we go just one person at a time. So when it's dentist time, everybody goes. When it's orthodontist time, I'm taking them both at the same time. So that really saves a lot of time and trips and back and forth by consolidating that all at once. And then have a task management system. Don't rely on your brain to remember. That's one of the things that really stresses me out is when I have a lot of things on my mind and I can't keep track of them. So I like to use a planner. A paper planner works really well for me. I'm going to give away an example of one that I like today. And it's a great thing to do is just to do a brain dump. Tina talked about that this morning too. That really helps me with anxiety when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Write down everything that you're thinking about, everything that you're worried about, everything that you're trying to remember. And then you can start sorting it out. You can start doing the do, delegate, and delete. And then consider a planner or some other kind of system for doing that. When it comes to home supplies, shopping, and decluttering, I love Amazon Subscribe and Save for automated deliveries. Things like toilet paper, paper towels, detergent, the stuff that we all need that isn't necessarily fun to shop for. Also the stuff that's kind of bulky. I have 2 big dogs. The dog food is like 50-pound bag. I just have Amazon deliver it to me. So you can set Subscribe and Save, and it's going to automatically send you things on a regular basis. I don't have to remember once a month, every other month, whatever. I love Amazon Prime. That's a great way to get things that you need. I like to frequent stores that offer free shipping and free return. So places like Nordstrom. If I need to get a gift for someone, if I need a special outfit for something, I can order multiple things, have them shipped to my house, check them out, figure out what I want, and then ship back the rest. So when it comes to shipping back the rest, and you're doing a lot of online ordering, maybe you have a lot of returns, a lot of stores now will give you the prepaid return labels, or you'll have it either right in the package, you can print it from their website, but then that means you're having to run to the post office. But not anymore, because I discovered that on USPS.com, you can actually schedule a pickup for those returns. Your mailman will come and pick it up right from your doorstep on the day of your regular mail delivery. I like using services like Stitch Fix. There's a lot of these clothing subscription services. These are a great way if you don't have time to shop. They'll send things to you. It's fun. It's exciting. And again, you get the free returns. And then when it comes to cleaning out my house, Green Drop is a great service. They will actually come and pick up right from your home. I had a pickup yesterday. All the different household things that we want to donate, they'll come and take them for you. And then ThreadUp is an online consignment store where you can send your clothing, your accessories. They take women and children's things. They will pay you for the things that they think they can resell, and then they're going to donate the rest. And then as we start wrapping up, taking care of you. So taking a little time every day to do something just for yourself. I find that really the best way to save time is to make sure that you are taken care of. Because when you are feeling depleted, when you are feeling overwhelmed, everything is going to be harder. It's going to be difficult to be productive, and you're not going to get as much done. So consider becoming an early morning person. I like to get up early. I like to have a little bit of quiet time, do some reading, do some writing. That's time just for me before the rest of the world starts putting in their outside influences. Intentionally pour good things into yourself. I like to listen to good books. I like to listen to great podcasts, and those are giving me good energy all the time. There's a great book that I'm going to give away today called The Fringe Hours by Jessica Turner, and she gives a lot of suggestions on fitting things for you into your day. And then take a real phones turned off, auto reminder set vacation. That's really scary to do, especially if you're in business for yourself, but it absolutely can be done. I've been doing it for years, and it's the best way to help you to recharge. So lastly, understand that mastering anything in your life really takes time. If you're doing a new sport, learning to master your time, it's going to take time to figure out how to do it. The key is to be curious and to try new things. And once you figure out what works for yourself, tweak it. And you're going to have to tweak it again and again. What works for me today is probably not going to work for me a year from now. And the more you understand yourself and the season of life that you're in, the easier it's going to be for you to master your time. Okay, any questions? I think we have just a couple of minutes. Yes?
So do you not use any of like the online like reminders or Google Keep, or did you not find those helpful at all? Because you can share those with other people.
Yes. For whatever reason, I can't seem to get them to work. I do get the reminders. I sometimes have them on my phone, but I seem like I miss them. I don't know if it's because my ringer's turned off or whatever, but it just, for me, seeing it on paper works better for me. Any other questions? Yeah.
This isn't a question, but can I share something?
Please.
So when you were talking about meal planning,
Yes.
that's something that I sort of always struggled with.
Mhm.
And within the last year or so, my husband and I started using the Cozy app.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone
I've
else
heard of that.
uses
Mm-hmm.
The meal planning feature on there has literally changed my life.
That's awesome.
And it is so helpful, and we share an account, and there's a grocery list function on there. So
Perfect.
like you were saying, the all out of,
Yeah.
he can just add it, or I can add it.
Yes.
And if he stops on his way home from work or whatever,
It's right
on
there.
the list, and he can just see it. And then you can add recipes, and you can
Perfect.
put it on your calendar, and it'll send you an alert. I mean,
That's awesome. I love things like that. And that's,
awesome.
it's great. And when you find things like that, it really saves time, right? And it gives you a lot of peace of mind.
Yeah, and like
It's
you
huge.
said, 15 minutes I take at the beginning of the week.
Excellent.
You can put like a URL from like a blog or a recipe
Yes.
in there, and it'll populate it, and then you can just add it to your calendar.
That's excellent.
And it tells you what's on the menu. So
There you go. Cozy app.
if anyone has struggles with meal
Okay.
planning, Cozy app.
So let's gather up some business cards and give those to Donna, and then I'll do some drawings. Any other real quick questions before we wrap up and do our drawings? She was giving me like the warning. Sorry. I know. I felt like it was. I know she was playing it. But like the 5 minutes and the. So, yeah. So. Also, if you guys are on social media, I'd love for you to connect with me. So I'm on Instagram at KCRLTR. You can find me on Facebook. My personal account is under Karen Wenner Cooper. And if you are in the real estate business, or if you are in a business that supports the real estate industry, I'd love for you to join our group, which is Empowering Women in Real Estate.
Can you go back? I think there's like 2 slides just about the personal care.
That one? One? Yeah. Okay, everybody got a card in there? Cards are coming. Yes.
Just on the clothes.
Yes.
I started doing that this year.
Uh-huh.
I just started a new job about 90 days ago, and so when I did that, I have to commute to the district. And
Yeah.
I was like, just to sort of save time and be where I need to be. And I actually pick it out every week. So the same
Oh,
week
good for you.
we
You do a whole week at
I
once.
have 5 outfits,
Yes.
And I do them. And that what's nice about I think we started getting where I like want to put my jewelry with it. And
Yes.
belts and whatever.
Yes.
Because it makes it
Thank
so
you.
easy. And what I thought maybe I would wear Tuesday, I end up wearing Thursday.
You can switch it around.
Spontaneity, which makes you feel not
Right.
but I've already felt like I know I
Right.
I can feel confident.
It feels good, right?
If I got a meeting on Wednesday, I can feel powerful.
It's a huge time saver. It's a huge time saver. All right, let's do a couple giveaways. So first we'll do our what to eat. You can find this on Amazon. It's a magnetic pad. So Catherine, we'll let you pull our card here.
Is this 2 cards?
Oh.
I guess.
Okay.
Whoever used that, that's a winner. That's the paper.
We'll do this one for the We'll do this for the second item.
Okay. John Murphy.
John. All right. There you go. All right, and then this will be, you can read that one out loud. So this will be for the All Out of grocery pad. Again, you can find that on Amazon.
Katrina, is it? So it says
Katrina. There you go. All right, and if you want to draw one for I'll let you hold the bag. And this is for a little agenda that I like to use.
Pam Anderson.
Pam. All right, there you are. And then we have the book that I talked about, which has a lot of great tips for finding time in your day.
Missy Ellis.
Missy Ellis. You're welcome. And then the Amazon Echo Dot, which is awesome.
Heather Flattery.
There you go. All right. So thank you, ladies. I hope you have a great time today. Enjoy your conference, learn lots of things, and maybe we'll see you around. Okay, bye.